What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to give you guys some Atlanta Falcons news. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned today in Atlanta Falcons news, Matthew Judon, Dee Alford, and Nate Landman, all these guys are scheduled to hit free agency next week. Matthew Judon, the star pass rusher that we traded for last year from the New England Patriots. This season, he had about 5.5 sacks. He had 7 tackles for loss, but we didn't see the best out of Matthew Judon last season. And personally, this is just speculation. I don't believe that Matthew Judon wants to return to the Atlanta Falcons, being that the way that they used him last year in our defensive scheme, Jimmy Lake used him when they had him dropping in coverage, trying to cover running backs, dropping into the flats and things of that nature, when we know that Matthew Judon's strengths are rushing the passer, coming off the edge, being disruptive in the run game, being disruptive in sacking the quarterback and things of that nature. So being based off of how he was used this past season, at the end of this last season, Matthew Judon didn't speak with the media during his exit interviews and things of that nature. And that pretty much was kind of the writing on the wall for me, that I thought that Matthew Judon didn't want to be back with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, as I mentioned, it is speculation. I don't know personally if he wants to be back in Atlanta. I would love to have him back. He was one of my favorite players from last year's team. Matthew Judon is one of those guys that can be a game wrecker at times. He is a guy that can get you double-digit sacks in a season. But we didn't get to see him at his best last year. So I do wish him happy trails if he does sign with another team. Dee Alford, the corner, our nickel corner, I would like to see him back with our Atlanta Falcons as well. But the Falcons didn't pick up his tender. He was a restricted free agent. Now he's an unrestricted free agent, and he's scheduled to hit free agency next week as well. Could I see him back with the Atlanta Falcons? I could definitely see him returning to the Falcons, maybe on a shorter deal. But being that we didn't, sign him to a deal under that restricted free agent tender, I really don't see him coming back to Atlanta. Of course, they may be still in negotiations and things of that nature, but I really feel like Dee Alford may be able to get more money out there, in the free agency market. Like I said, he is a guy that I would love to see back with the Atlanta Falcons, a great tackler. He was third in the team with 83 tackles last season, had a number of PBUs for our Atlanta Falcons. He is a guy that can play on the outside and be that inside nickel corner. And to me, one of the intricate pieces in Jimmy Lake and Raheem Morris's defense last year. Raheem Morris raved about Dee Alford all year long, about him being one of the key pieces in that secondary. But evidently, for whatever reason, they haven't agreed on a deal. Now, I don't know if this is due to the cap situation, that they haven't been able to re-sign him, and maybe they didn't tender him because of us being over the cap. But that's going to be seen here in the next week or two to see if Dee Alford wants to return to the Falcons, if they can get a deal done. And then Nate Landman, our linebacker, he also will be hitting free agency next week as an unrestricted free agent. They didn't pick up his tender as well. Now, Nate Landman is one of those guys that I didn't see returning to our Falcons, even though he's played well and overachieved the last 2 years. He is one of those downhill type linebackers, but he was here under that Arthur Smith regime. He's not one of Raheem Morris's guys and things of that nature when it comes to the linebacking core. As we know, in that cover 3 scheme, you need linebackers that can flow sideline to sideline and be able to cover. And that's not the type of linebacker that Nate Landman is. Nate Landman is at his best when he's able to be a downhill type linebacker where he can thump. And, he's very good in stopping the run and things of that nature, filling gaps, filling holes. But he's not at his best when he has to cover a whole lot. And we've seen that last season where they were taking him off the field at times on third down due to his lack of coverage skills and things of that nature. But I do think that Nate Landman will land on his feet with another team. He could be back with the Falcons maybe as a special teamer and to add depth. But I really feel like the Falcons are going to tackle the linebacker position, either in the draft or in free agency. They're going to look to bring in a linebacker that's a little bit more quicker laterally and things of that nature, a better coverage linebacker, because we have a lot of downhill type thumper linebackers on the roster already. So with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts on how everything is going to play out. How do you guys feel about Matthew Judon, Dee Alford, and Nate Landman all hitting free agency next week? I'm very interested and intrigued to see what's going to be the first chip to fall, as far as, are they going to restructure someone's deal to get under the cap? Because that's the first thing that our Falcons have to do at this point, because we're over the cap. I believe by Wednesday next week by 4 p.m. Eastern time, we have to get under the cap. And I believe at this time, the Falcons are about $5 million over the cap still. So with that being said, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for your boy. Of course, I have a lot more content coming for you guys. This next week, we should be seeing some player signings. We should see some movement. Hasn't been a ton of news of late, but I'm just waiting for that first chip to fall. So as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.